This is Mojoy. We're here in Salt Lake City, Utah. We're gonna ask some strangers about their lives. What are your guys' names?
Caroline.
I'm Nathan.
And Nathan, awesome.
I'm Jesse.
Preston.
Michael Harmon.
James.
CJ.
Daniel.
I'm Xavier.
And I'm Paul. Hello.
If you could meet yourself as you were growing up, what would you want to tell yourself?
Don't listen to anyone else. Just listen to what you want to do, because that kind of happened to me. I listened to what other people said and what I should do and like what they think is best for me, but it turned out they didn't know what's best for me, you know? You only know what's best for you, so.
Have some delayed gratification. You know, work hard now, really work hard now so you can get where you want to be later.
Be nicer to others that are different.
Keep working and like the work will pay off someday, or just keep trying to do what you love and it'll pay off.
You're going to have a lot of trials, and you got to just hang through it because everything works out in the end, and you've just got to hang in there and trust the Lord because there's people around that can help you, and you don't always see resolution from the start, but things work out.
I would say trust in your own judgment, and trust in the Lord, and everything will work out in the end.
Well, I think the first thing that I would tell myself is, honestly, just go chill with it. I was a pretty normal, weird kid, but you know, I was always like, man, I'm gonna fit in, and it was just like, I don't really care. So like, I would probably just tell him to just go with the flow, you know? Like,
You're interested in computers, stay with the computers. Don't break away from it. Even though your family doesn't have any money, it's gonna change the world. And it's, of course, invest in Apple, do stuff like that, but even if you have $100, take any money you can save and invest it in those companies. Obviously, that's hindsight, but stick with the computers.
Learn how money works and invest in real estate.
The last 10 NBA Finals winners.
What did you want to be as a kid, and how has that changed?
I just wanted to be rich, and I am not, so.
Hey, same.
I wanted to be a PA, like my sister. My sister's a PA in Jacksonville, North Carolina, and I wanted to be something like that, and I ended up being a high school biology teacher.
I wanted to own a business of some sort, and I do own a business, so worked out.
I've always wanted to go D1 for basketball, and you know, it's still my motivation and mindset right now.
That's an easy one. I wanted to be a star basketball player like Michael Jordan.
Wow.
I didn't get real close to that at all. We tried to practice a lot, but we never got there.
I actually wanted to be an engineer, but because of just understanding things, just school was super hard for me, and it was just that stress. It was just ruining my life. So I just worked in any job I could. I provided for my family, which is a number one in my book.
well, I've always wanted to be a bunch of stuff. I wanted to be a paleontologist, then a historian, then like, I love chemistry, but I ended up in biology. And honestly, I want to be like a geneticist now, or like working in a lab or something. Like, so yeah, I can't really give you one answer because I've always wanted to be a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Sure. Astronaut, that's what I wanted to be. Reality set in, and just, yeah, I mean, you get older, you apply 2 or 3 times. I did a few times, I applied. I got past the first stage, but I taught kids in high school. We did NASA projects and stuff, but I just realized that that's not going to happen. And so you just go on and do stuff close to it, or you get around it, and yeah, so you just recalibrate your life's things because you can.
I remember wanting to be a veterinarian.
I wanted to be Shaquille O'Neal on 5'8".
How do you guys feel about where you're at then?
I'm still working on it. I just graduated college, and I'm still trying to find a job, still trying to figure out where I want to be.
I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. You know, I just finished my first year of teaching pretty recently, and so I've got my foot in the door there. I feel pretty comfortable in my life right now, but like not stagnant, you know?
I'm able to provide for my family, so I'm pretty happy. I kind of followed my dad in his profession because I just didn't know what to do with myself, and that seemed to work out. I'm happy where I am. I feel like I've achieved something that is respectable in the world, and so I'm happy with it.
Yeah, for the most part. Not great, but it's one of those things. You know what I mean? We all end up in jobs and life and stuff, so.
Do you feel like you would say that you're successful?
Yeah, I think if I can provide for my family and I don't embarrass them, that's important to me, and I think in that way I would say I'm successful.
And so right now, I feel I am successful, not as having the monetary funds, but having what I need to survive, and finding happiness in what we do have.
What is the best advice that anyone's ever given you?
Always drink water. That's really important.
And there's this guy that is the progression director at Western Carolina University. He's just taught me a lot about my relationships with people. Prioritize relationships, because that's in the end what matters. That makes your life.
Focus on the things that matter, like family, friends, relationships. Those are the things you're going to value later on in life.
That if you work and just like keep working, that the work will someday show and someday pay off the way you want it to.
Gordon B. Hinckley was a prophet in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and he always gave great advice, and of course he could foresee the future as a prophet of God. He told us to be clean and to be hardworking, and he said a lot of things in these B's that I can't remember all of them right now, but pretty easy to look up all of those B's, and they were right on the money and when we needed them. And I think that would probably be the advice that I would, that was probably the best advice that I got is from a prophet of God, just saying, that we can contribute to the world, and those B's, there were like 9 of them that really hit home for me.
Just trust the Lord, trust God, and everything will work out.
I would say, I can't remember if somebody told me or I read it online, but it said they need to have 3 things that you are good at or like. One thing you're good at that makes you happy, one thing that you're good at that keeps you active, and one good thing that makes you money.
I think something to the effect of like, life is not a puzzle to be solved, but a mystery to be lived.
Make love, not war.
When you get married to the one you love, make sure that you guys keep making each other laugh. The things that made you laugh when you first met, you'll get older. But if you keep each other laughing and keep that child, like when you first met, inside jokes, keep laughing.
47% of youth report feeling persistent hopelessness. What do you want to tell the youth of today?
They're not alone, for sure.
They just need solid supports, and to look for supports in the right people, the right environments. It's really important.
That you're a kid, your brain isn't developed, don't overreact to things, don't get too down on yourself. You got a lot of years ahead of you. It's never as bad as you think it is.
Probably think that if you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. You can always just come back from it and improve in one way or another, or get advice from a parent or something.
I think that when we reach out to other people and figure out that they've got a lot of problems too, that some of the things that they have overcome, we start to realize that it's similar to what we've overcome, similar to the things that we're going through, and that can cause hope.
If we will just look outside ourselves like we're asked to in the church and in this world, is to not just focus on ourselves, but also focus on our brothers and sisters.
Well, I mean, you can always feel hopelessness, but it takes a choice, a logical choice, to think, look, I'm alive. I have to do something with what I have, with what I am, and work with it,
There's this idea of hard work and finding something that you really work at. But I really do think the digital drip and being constantly distracted is not a positive. And I think you have to learn how to unplug so that you can do other things. And so putting this in its proper place I think is important.
Get outside.
It's not so bad. You guys are the best generation we've ever had.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years if everything goes reasonably well?
We're hoping to have a house paid off. At that point, we'll be closer to retirement. And I can see us starting to look at missions. We want to serve LDS missions as a couple.
Well, I hope to have my own business in marketing going for me, and hopefully I'll be married. I lost my late wife about 8 months ago, so I hope to continue to serve in the church where I'm needed. Hope to support their family.
So I would say probably just being alive.
Just hopefully a healthy version of myself.
Coaching Little League Baseball.
Deader than a hammer.